Here is the most liberating truth you will ever hear. Though I must warn you, it will sting. The cold reality is that nobody is thinking about you. You have spent years performing for an audience that isn't even watching, walking on eggshells, overanalyzing every syllable, and curating your life to avoid the judgment of people who forget your existence the very second they scroll past your face. You are a prisoner of a spotlight that was never actually turned on. But therein lies your power. In the real world, indifference is not an insult. It is absolute freedom. While the masses scramble for validation, the stoic remains dangerous. The moment you realize that no one is coming to rescue you from your circumstances, you stop waiting. You stop expecting, and you start building. Today, we are using the ruthless, ironclad laws of Stoicism to dismantle your need for external approval and reconstruct the kind of mindset that makes a man untouchable. There are 5 brutal truths that most men spend their entire lives fleeing from. Yet, the moment you accept them, rejection loses its power, opinions cease to dictate your choices, and fear stops running your life. Stay until the end, because the final truth is the catalyst that transforms a man into an untouchable force. Think about how exhausting it is to constantly replay past conversations, obsess over who viewed your stories, or stand in a room while your mind is trapped in a loop of embarrassment over something trivial you said earlier. You are squandering your life force, trying to control how you exist in the minds of others. The irony? Most people aren't judging you at all. They are far too busy managing their own performances. You are the center of your own universe, not theirs. The moment you stop thirsting for attention, you become impossible to control. Imagine 2 men in a heated argument. One gets defensive and loud, desperate to be understood. The other remains calm, silent, and anchored. Suddenly, the gravity of the room shifts toward the latter. That is not coldness. That is emotional detachment. It is true power. Truth 1. Nobody is thinking about you. You stumbled over your words, posted something awkward, or said the wrong thing on a date. You've replayed those moments 1,000 times in your head. But the people who witnessed them? They forgot about it by the weekend. This is the spotlight effect. Your brain tricks you into believing that everyone is noticing and remembering your flaws. They aren't. They went home worried about their own mistakes. Once this sinks in, something unlocks. You stop shrinking before you speak. You stop living like you are constantly on trial. Truth 2. You cannot control the opinions of others. Some people decide who you are before you even open your mouth. You could be perfect, and they would still misunderstand you. Look at the man who desperately tries to fix his image. He overexplains, sends paragraphs, and exhausts himself managing perceptions. Now, look at the man who stops. He states his truth once, then lets people think what they want. Because he isn't chasing approval, he commands respect. A man who must be understood by everyone is a man who is owned by everyone. Truth 3. Most relationships are conditional. This is a hard pill to swallow. Observe what happens when a man loses his status, his confidence, or his utility. The calls grow quiet, and the invitations vanish. This isn't necessarily malice. It is human nature. Most people engage as long as there is value, emotional, social, or practical. Once you understand this without bitterness, you stop begging people to stay. Instead, you focus on building yourself. When your value becomes undeniable, you stop chasing connection from a place of fear. Truth 4. Nobody is coming to save you. This is the ultimate turning point. You've spent years waiting for the right mentor, the right break, or the right motivation. It isn't happening. But strangely, that is where your true power begins. Self-rescue forges a different kind of man. A man who carries a stillness that others can feel. He doesn't perform confidence. He is built from it. The man who needs nothing is the man who cannot be manipulated. Truth 5. Time erases almost everything. That moment you think ruined your reputation, most people won't even remember it next month. You will spend years carrying the weight of a memory that died in everyone else's mind within days. The universe is not keeping a ledger of your humiliations. Only you are. Let it go. You aren't doing it because it didn't hurt. You are doing it because you are the only one still holding the grudge against yourself. When these truths finally take root, your reality shifts. You stop scanning the room for validation. You stop over-explaining yourself. You allow people to misunderstand you without falling apart. You become still. And in a world of frantic performers, stillness is magnetic. The moment you stop performing for others, you become unforgettable to them. Realizing that nobody cares about you is not a tragedy. It is the ultimate liberation. It is the beginning of the man you were always meant to become.